Just when you thought it couldn't get much worse for Dodge, it just did. Brampton shut down for weeks, Dodge pulled a 7th final edition car from SEMA, no word on stage kits, and no official answer from Dodge of why anything is going on. With 2023 fast approaching, it seems like Dodge is sinking faster than the Titanic. But what if I told you Dodge has stopped production not because of missing engine parts, but because of missing emblems and trim pieces? I know everyone has heard of all the craziness going on with Dodge pulling the 7th edition from SEMA. Brampton and other plants are shutting down, no stage kits, and tweaks to the Daytona Banshee. So let's go over all these issues one at a time, starting with the Banshee. It just came out that Dodge is still working on the sound of the Charger Daytona. Let's play a clip now from this interview that Tim Kuniskis did.
By the way, the sound's not done. I mean, we're still working on the sound. We've got plenty of time to keep tuning it and tweaking it. We created an algorithm that takes all the inputs of an ICE engine today, moves air through an actual speaker system, a box with chambers, plenums, pipes, and an exhaust outlet that comes out the back of the car. Air coming out the back of the car was important. When we revealed the car, we drove it out into the crowd and people said, "That's crazy. That's a hand-built prototype car. What are you doing?" I said, I need to prove to everybody that I'm not showing you a live stream of some audio that we pumped through the speakers in this building. No, it's driving through the crowd out in the parking lot and the people are looking at it going, where's the sound coming from? And if you watch the video, people actually put their hand down by the exhaust outlet to feel air coming out. They're like, how's that happening?
There is not a single clip of anyone putting their hand nowhere near the Banshee. No one even responded to the EV revving. I'm going to do a separate video about this entire interview because there's a lot to break down in it. But the two main things to take away for now is that the exhaust system was basically a dumb idea. They basically made a subwoofer bandpass box that pushes out air with a soundtrack played by a program to make a futuristic Hemi sound. And then number two, while Dodge pulls out the 7th edition from SEMA, we'll get another dose of the Banshee instead.
Manoj Belur wants to know, what about customization? How much customization are you going to allow on this?
Stay tuned for SEMA this year. We're going to show a different version of this car at SEMA because we know that is absolutely critical to our buyer. 50% of them modify their cars today. So at SEMA, we're going to show you a different flavor of this, different look, feel to this car. And we're also going to talk about how and why we launched direct connection well in advance on ICE so that we could transition to electrification with direct connection, because people are going to want to modify their cars regardless of what's pushing them.
Dodge will bring the Charger Daytona SRT Banshee to SEMA and show you how you can modify the car, probably a taste of options that we'll see that you'll be able to get on that car and possibly the ICE versions as well. So Dodge isn't pulling out of SEMA, but now we'll get more Banshee, more options, and maybe more custom sounds. I did this video a few days ago talking about the third significant car that Tim Kuniskis said last year that they would show at the end of 2022. SEMA seems like the perfect place now to show the Hurricane versions of the Banshee and clear up questions if the Charger is going 2-door, or if the Challenger will go 4-door, or if the EV Daytona will be the only 2-door version of a Charger. But the significant vehicle Tim Kuniskis himself said last year was coming. No one has said anything about the status of this vehicle. Nothing during Speed Week, nothing from this interview. It seems like everyone's forgotten about this car but me. But the butter does not forget. Just saying. Let's move on to the next problem. The 7th final edition getting pulled from SEMA. It really makes no sense for this car to get pulled. But it brings to light a problem that I said in previous videos. Dodge is behind schedule and none of these editions are built. Think about it for 1 second. Why haven't we seen any real life photos of any of the other 6 final editions? We've seen the Hornet GLH, probably because Alfa Romeo built it for Dodge and shipped it across the ocean. We've seen a promo video for the Durango Mopar edition last year that only had 250 units. Is the Mopar Durango more important than any of the 6 final editions that we've seen so far? Dodge can live stream 3 Speed Week videos that talked about 12 cars, filmed a Never Lift promo video talking about the Never Lift garage door disaster, the chief donut maker, have you go through a contest with several celebrities to win a car, tease a Charger super stock that so far that has not happened, and launch stage kits that California said, nah, you're not. And then of course, we have the EV Day promo telling us Dodge isn't going to sell EVs, but they're killing Hemis to sell EVs, and then trying to be mysterious about the inline 6 Hurricane cars that even Stellantis has confirmed that it's coming to all cellular large and frame vehicles. Dodge can film 5 videos that were all honestly duds because none of them delivered anything that was promised, and they can't spend a few hours filming 7 final edition cars. Dodge just filmed 11 cars during EV Day when they were excited to talk about the EV future, but we can't see a single photo or video of any final edition built. It's as simple as Dodge can borrow Ram's EV Day studio, have 7 car covers, then get Tim Kuniskis to lift the cover off one vehicle at a time, talk about what classic car that Challenger or Charger edition honored, chop the video up, and release it on each day the editions are being revealed. But you can't do something that simple if you can't build the cars in the first place. I've pointed out in every final edition video I've done, Dodge doesn't show you all the colors, stickers, or even interiors of the 6 editions so far. Prime example, we have no idea what the Black Ghost interior will look like, but the Shakedown edition, the first one that was shared, is the only one we know exactly how every color, sticker, interior, and seat will look like. All the work Dodge has put into 5 videos in 13 months, and we can't see a single video of a final edition. There are even no pictures on Dodge's social media. We've got pictures of the chief chief donut maker, the 2 jailbreak configurated cars, the Hornet GLH, and the Hemi Orange package, but not a single final edition car. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going wrong. Just look at Racer X video. A Dodge rep admits to him even they don't know what they're doing with power brokers and direct connection. Dodge is sinking like the Titanic and it's not slowing down. The latest news about the Brampton shutting down and then pulling 7 cars from SEMA confirms my theory that these cars are not built yet. So I did some digging and asked some sources about this, and apparently there is an emblem and badge shortage that is stopping Brampton for a few weeks. Now, if you've been paying attention like Tim Kuniskis said,
and you're really paying attention,
mysteriously the same thing just happened to Ford last week. They can't get vehicles out because they can't get badges, nameplates, or company logos.
and you're really paying attention.
A quick Google search of that company that makes the badges for Ford, Tri-Bar Technology, you see that company is responsible for releasing several thousand gallons of chemicals in a river in Michigan.
And you're really paying attention. And you're really quick with the math.
If you look at Tri-Bar's website, you'll see Fiat's Barf logo, you see Chrysler's logo, you see Jeeps, you see grills and door seals. So miraculously, when Ford goes down, Dodge falls right behind, and then Chrysler too. Oh, and they just extended their downtime for Windsor as well just a few hours ago. So now the question is, will Brampton open up in a few weeks? Or would it be shut down like Windsor until the badge issue is fixed? And even if the 7th edition car was only affected by an emblem problem, why is the story now that the car won't show up until 2023? The supply chain issues should be fixed in a few weeks, and if that's the case, the final edition car should not be delayed for SEMA. Even if SEMA is not doable, there still is the LA Auto Show that happens in the middle of November. In Racer X video, Dodge's excuse to him makes no sense at all. How is Dodge afraid they are rushing the final edition car that I know for a fact they've been testing since last year inside the production plants, had some vendors work on the car, and most likely put the same tune on this car as they did Wesley Motorsports' Red Dot Charger that they got tuned straight from Dodge to run E90 ethanol. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm highly suspicious that Dodge pulled this car for the same reason they have been mute about the stage kits. I don't think the car meets CARB requirements, and they had to pull the car for more tweaks to get it to pass. A similar thing happened to the TRX in 2020. Mysteriously, Ram wouldn't say anything for about 3 months about what was going on with the TRX. People were supposed to take delivery in October, and it wasn't until December when trucks finally started to get made. That was the reason I started this channel in the first place, and I found out from sources then that the TRX failed its emissions testing and the exhaust had to be redesigned. And that's why the TRX was delayed, and Ram had to swap the exhaust system out on the early builds before they left the plant. With it smelling like the same situation with the TRX, I wouldn't doubt emissions is the main reason the car got pushed until 2023. Not because they're afraid they can't deliver it in time, but because Brandon won't let them. It was just 5 years ago they released 3,300 demons in 1 year, just saying. So with all this stuff going on, do we honestly believe 2023 isn't going to be a disaster getting a car? Look at it this way, if you want that 7th final edition car, are you now forced to wait a good, let's say 4 to 5 months, and now we're about a good halfway through 2023, and then you strike out on getting the 7th edition car, but oh dang, because you didn't get your allocation in fast enough like Tim Kuniskis told you to.
So the key is lock up your allocation as fast as you can for that last year.
You're not getting one of the other 6 final editions either. So a lot of people are going to put in multiple orders, one for a jailbreak for example, one for a Black Ghost, and hopefully sometime in 2023, an order for the 7th edition car. But let's say you strike out on the final car, you get outbid on the Black Ghost, and you're left with your third choice of a jailbreak, which probably got built early because you got your allocation in as fast as possible. How is this ordering disaster going to work if the 7th car isn't revealed before the order banks open up? At bare minimum, you have to order at least 2 cars. In my case, I have to order a Challenger Red Eye wide body because it could be until the end of the year 2023 before I see that car, because I waited so long for the 7th final edition car that we don't know how many will be built. And while my Red Eye order is sitting there and Dodge is taking their sweet time with the 7th car, I have to try and cancel my Red Eye order months after the fact that a dealer probably won't let me get my deposit back if I happen to luck out and get a 7th final edition car. Tim Kuniskis was right. The 7th edition car is destined for the history books. I just didn't think he meant from SEMA and a 2022 unveiling. But I think these allocations are going to disappear fast because you have to order multiple cars. If you don't, and Brampton goes down for a month in 2023, or something happens for a few weeks in 2023, one of those orders you place will probably be canceled, and hopefully your backup order is still in the system. But let me know what you guys think about this mess that Dodge is in. Is the 2023 model year destined to be a disaster? What do you guys think of the 7th edition car getting pulled? And what about the Banshee's band pass box exhaust system? Make sure you guys like the video to help it spread on YouTube. It helps out greatly. Subscribe to the channel that digs through all the fluff. Grab some merch on your way out. And until the next time, I'm out.